Okay, but this is not a complete definition of noun. Okay, can you see my screen right now?
Yes, miss.
Okay, okay, good, good. That's good. You can see the screen right. Okay, so let me change. Okay, so if I talk about noun, so the basic definition of noun is that it is not only just the name of people and things and animals, but also it is the name of anything. It may be an idea, it may be anything. Like most of the students, they just think of a noun as a tangible approach, right? Do you know what is tangible? A thing which you can
No.
touch, right? A thing which you can touch.
Yes.
But noun
Yes.
is just not about that. For example, if I ask you some few words, for example, beauty, beauty. Can you tell me which part of speech is this? Beauty?
Miss, miss, if it would be beautiful, it would be an adjective, but
You're
it's beauty, so it's an
absolutely, you are absolutely right, Firoza. But what is beauty? I haven't asked beautiful. I know you
miss.
know the answer
Beauty
for
is
beautiful.
noun. Beauty is noun.
How come it is noun? It is not the name of an animal, not a place, not a
But
person.
miss, you said right now, noun is not something which you can touch, and like it can be anything.
Very good. You see, you know the concept, but the concept is a bit random in your mind. I want to make it like in a sequence or so, right? So if you say in this way, like nouns are the things which are both visible and invisible things. Okay. For example,
Yes, miss.
right now we are taking online classes, right? So the
Yes.
knowledge which we are exchanging between ourselves is what? What is the knowledge? Knowledge is basically a noun, which is no, what kind of knowledge? Intangible noun. Like you can't touch it, you just feel it. Okay, so there are a lot of example. For example, you see childhood, beauty, struggle, knowledge, death, hate, love. They all are what kind of noun? They are those kind of noun which you cannot touch. Is it okay? Okay,
Yes,
so
miss.
okay, so we will start doing noun by knowing the types of noun, because that will help us a lot in understanding the basic concepts. So we have 5 categories of noun. There are, you see, if you have books there, if you have plethora of books and you have to just set them on a bookshelf, so how will you set the books in a shelf, Firoza?
Miss, like if I like organizing my books in the bookshelf, so miss, like I'll keep them order wise, and miss, like the thick books in the last and the
Very good,
small
very good. You
books.
can do it by thickness of the book, you can say. Okay.
Yes.
Acha, Firoza, we also have Maria with us. We can also ask Maria. Okay, Maria, how will you just use the book, settle your bookshelf?
Then setting them by their genre, fiction in one and non-fiction in the other,
You see,
art
you are,
and
please speak
literature.
louder, Maria. Please speak louder. You said by
We
genre.
can,
Okay.
yeah,
And
can set it by colors of the book,
very
the
good. Okay.
thickness, and and the
Okay.
author also.
Okay. Yes, Firoza, do you have any another idea for setting down the books in your shelf? Like we have
Miss,
done
like I
according to
also
thickness, author,
miss
genre, colors, and
that miss like miss I will also tell something that miss, like we have a shelf, so miss, like the backside of the book, like there's a like a page from where we open, and the opposite side of it where the name of the book is written, I'll keep that in the front, so like I can read the name of the books.
okay, very good. Okay, so what was the reason that I asked both of you about the? This is basically classification. Like you can. Why do we make classification? We make classification to understand and remember things easily. Okay, like it will be very hard for you to find a book of science if you keep all 100 books in one shelf without any, you see, any category or without any classification rule. Okay, so it will be so similarly, if I talk about noun, so there are different ways in which noun can be classified, right? The first way which we are doing is the most common one, in which we have got the first category, which is a common noun. Maria, can you see the screen?
Yes, I can see the screen.
Okay, proper nouns. Okay, we have got common nouns, proper nouns. Then we have got collective nouns, right? Collective nouns. Then we have got the next one, which is material noun. Material
And
noun.
the last one is abstract noun.
Very good. That's abstract noun. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's abstract noun. So we'll be discussing one by one, and you see we'll be discussing the detail of them, right? Okay, how come we can make their plurals and some different rules related to this. Okay, so Firoza, do you know what are
Yes, miss.
what is the difference between common and proper noun if I ask you?
Yes, miss, like common noun is basically like if you ask what a proper noun is, so like miss, a proper noun is like if a name of someone or a name of a country or something, miss, like country name or anyone's name. But common noun is basically like you said, beauty right now, knowledge right now, like this.
No, beauty is not common word. Common noun. Common noun means like the word by which you are unable to understand the. For example, a boy came to my house before yesterday, and my daughter opened the door, and when I came back from my school, she told me that a boy came to meet you. So I'll definitely ask who. So she'll say, I don't know. But for example, that boy would have told the name of his name. For example, he said that I'm Ali and I want to meet my teacher. Okay, so then my daughter would have tell me that Ali was the boy who came day before yesterday. So Ali is proper noun because by the name Ali, I'm getting the proper sense who is coming, who has come, right? And by boy, I'm unable to understand the full situation. So you're getting my point. So common nouns are those nouns which are common. For example, if I say teacher, so it may be any teacher of your school. But if I say Miss Sakina and Miss Samina or Miss Jamila, so that become proper, right? Similarly, if I ask you, you see any country name or any player name. Okay, for example, I'm saying cricket player. But if I'm saying or taking a name of somebody very popular, so that's become a proper noun. And this is the biggest reason that you won't find the proper nouns in your dictionary. Remember this thing. You will never find the name of proper nouns in your dictionary.
Mrs. Like you said, like if I'm telling like a common noun, like if I'll say I got my t-shirt signed by a cricketer, it would be a common noun. But if I say I got my t-shirt signed by Babar Azam, it would be proper noun.
Now, exactly. Basically, proper noun will give you complete sense. Oh, wow, that Pakistani cricketer you're talking about, that popular one. Okay, but common noun, a cricketer means it can be any other cricketer, right? So it's like that. Absolutely good. Okay, so this is the thing. Like this is one division, and now the second division. The second division of noun is according to their quantity. Like you can divide. As I told you, I can set my bookshelves in different ways. So the second way of designing it will be dividing them into countable and uncountables now, right? Countables and uncountables now. Have you heard of these terms? Have you heard of these terms, countable and uncountable, Firoza?
No, miss, I am not.
Okay, chalo, okay. Basically, countable nouns are those nouns which we can count in numbers. Okay, like the question, how many? The question, how many? Okay, you can answer the question how many in countable now. For example, I have 5 books, I have 10 friends, I have 2 mugs, I have got 7 chairs, and I've got 1 computer, I've got 2 students. Okay, so all these are what countable noun. And then we have got another category, and similarly countable noun can be singular or plural. Star, children, boys, country, they are all countable noun. The second category is of uncountable noun, which we ask in the way like how much is something. If you say I have little money, so I'm not getting the complete knowledge about how much money do you have. Okay, but if I'm saying I have 5 rupees note, I have 10,000 notes, I have 5,000 rupees, so it's countable. Okay, so for example, water is uncountable. How can you differentiate between countable and uncountable noun? A simple trick is this, to put a number in front of that. And if it looks weird, it means it is uncountable. For example, have you ever heard, I'm combing my 100 hairs here? We never say hairs. Okay, we say hair. Hairs, no hair. Why? Because uncountable noun cannot be changed into plural. You're getting my point? Rice. Okay, hair. These all are what? These are uncountable now. Okay, for example, sugar is uncountable because you never say, give me 1 sugar, 2 sugar, 3 sugar, but you say, you ask them in the kg. Okay, you never say, give me 1 water, 2 water, 3 water. Okay, so when you are unable to put a number in front of a noun, so that noun is uncountable. Okay, and vice versa, the other one is countable. Okay, so this was like countless. A countless can be counted, but different because of quantity. A water, uncountable drops of water. Like, for example, if somebody asks you how many drops of water are there on your screen, your mobile screen, so you can say there are 5 drops of water. So drops of water can be counted, but water cannot be counted. Okay, so there's a difference between them. Countable nouns can be counted, and some uncountable nouns can also be counted if you put another word in front of them. For example, I gave you the example of like drops of water. Water is uncountable, but drops of water is countable. So do keep this rule with yourself, right? Okay. Now, come to the collective noun. We have done this like common noun, proper noun, and noun collective noun. What are collective nouns? May I know the definition from both of you?
Collective nouns are nouns which are used in a collection or a group of something or some people.
Okay. Okay. Firoza, would you mind giving some examples of collective nouns?
Means like collective noun, like if there is like if there is many bees, we'll say a hive of bees.
Okay, very good. And what else?
So MS Miss, we use collective noun if there are like many people.
No. Basically, what is the proper definition of collective noun? If you want to write, you can write down the definition for collective noun. It's like the word which is given to collection of something. Okay, it is treated as single unit, but it's a collection. For example, you can say in detail, like a collective noun is a word that refers to a group of people, animals, or things. It is a single word that represents a collection. For example, you say bunch of keys. Bunch of keys. Bunch is a singular word, but have you ever see that there is a single key in a bunch of bouquet? My father has given my mother a bouquet on her birthday. So bouquet can never be a one flower. Okay, so it means it's understood. For example, flock of birds, herd of cattle, pack of wolves, pack of dogs, school of fish, team of people, family,
Flock of
crowd.
sheep.
Yes. Now,
Flock of sheep.
for example, I'm saying, where is the like you in your school, your principal say the staff. So staff doesn't mean a single teacher. It means a lot of teachers. Okay. Bunch, cluster, crowd. There's a crowd outside my flat. So you can't say if one person is standing and you can't say that, you see, that's a crowd. Crowd means a lot of people. So, you see, collectively they are known as crowd, right? Okay, then we've got animals. There are a lot, like all different animals group is known, given different names. For example, lions group is called pride, geese is called gaggle, people, you see, we can say crowd, family, team, teachers we can say staff, and natural phenomena we can say storm, and all these, they all are collective nouns, right? So I think the concept is clear. Is it clear or not? Ji Firoza, is it clear?
Yes, miss.
Okay, now come towards uncountable nouns. Uncountable nouns are those nouns which we basically asked by the question G, like little, much, few, and many. Okay, there isn't any particular number mentioned on it, right? So, for example, I don't have much time to do the work. I don't have much time to do the work. And now this means like I'm not mentioning the time, but I'm just mentioning, but if I say how many times have you visited this place, so now this is countable time. Now this is what? This is countable time. Okay. 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 So this is countable time. Okay. Time is countable and uncountable in both the senses. For example, time is uncountable. Okay, but we can count minutes and seconds. We say there are 60 seconds in 1 minute and there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. Okay, so we can count minutes and seconds, but we can't calculate time basically. We can count the time in the sense, if I ask you how many times do you visit your library in a week, so now you can count. You can say, you see, 5 times, because I have got the period of library daily. So you're getting, Firoza? Time is sometime countable and sometime it is uncountable. It depends upon the situation. Okay. Okay, so
Yes,
now,
yes.
yes, now we have got identification of noun, who, whom, what. Okay, there are different type of like ways in which we can see which word is noun. Okay, for example, subject and subject complement. Do you know what is subject and what is subject complement? What is the difference between the two? What is the subject and an object, Firoza? G. Firoza, what is the difference between subject and object? Okay, and Maria, can you give the answer? Yes, please.
The subject is the main. A subject is the person who acts or the thing which is the main thing, and the object is the thing which is being worked.
Okay. Object, you see, the subject is the person who does the work, the doer, and the object is the person is the thing on which the work is done. For example, if I'm saying I'm writing a letter, so letter is the object and I is the subject. Is it clear?
Yes, miss.
Okay. Okay. Now there are some ways by which you can recognize the nouns, like shun and all this. But what is the most important noun is the abstract noun. Material noun and abstract noun, they are the most important one. Okay, but there are a lot more in noun which we'll be doing in the next class. But now, right now, I'm telling you about abstract noun. Okay, this is the most important one, abstract nouns, right? So what is the definition of abstract noun? I've already told you these are the nouns which we are unable to touch. For example, pain. Okay, you can also say like happiness, sadness, fear, love, concept, and freedom, justice, peace, hope, democracy, education, honesty, skill. Okay, all these are what? These are intangible. What is intangible? Jivita?
Abstract now can also be emotions.
Yes, absolutely right. I told you, like fear is an emotion, you see, and peace is also a kind of like sadness is an emotion, love, hate, they all are emotions, right? So they can be. Okay, so what are the 3 main key characteristics of a noun to be included in an abstract noun? Number 1 is intangibility, like they cannot be touched or perceived through senses. Is it clear?
Yes, miss.
The second one is non-concreteness. Concrete ka matlab hota hai something which we can touch and feel, right? So non-concreteness means they don't have a physical presence. They don't have a physical presence. That is the reason they are not visible. Okay, for example, somebody in the class is saying, I'm having pain in my stomach, I'm having stomach ache. So the teacher can say, show me your pain. How much are you feeling? So is it possible for the student to show the pain?
No.
Why? Because there is no physical appearance of the pain. Okay, so this concept is very important in understanding noun, because if you don't know that all these words are nouns, so that becomes you see a problem, right? Okay, the third, what I give you like the key characteristics. The first one is intangibility, and the second one is what? Non concreteness, okay, no physical appearance. And the third one is subjectivity. They can be interpreted different by different people. Like, for example, if something is beautiful for me, might be it's not beautiful for you. Something which is fearful or troublesome for you might not be. I might enjoy that thing very much. Okay, so this is subjectibility. Subjectibility means like everybody has a change idea about it. Okay, they are not measurable. Okay, and then we have got abstractness. They represent complex concepts or ideas. Okay, so all these words, the most important. Achha, can you tell me gravity is an abstract noun or not? Yes, Firoza, gravity. Is gravity an abstract noun? Gravity.
Yes, miss.
Is it an abstract noun?
I must wait a second. Miss gravity.
Just think. Is it, you see, फिरोजा बेटा, मैंने आपको जो चार करेक्टरिस्टिक्स बताए हैं किसी भी चीज के एब्स्ट्रैक्ट होने के लिए, आपने शायद वो नो सुने नहीं। मैंने आपसे कहा कि वो चीज क्या होनी चाहिए। सबसे पहले तो वो चीज इंटेंजिबल होनी चाहिए। क्या होनी चाहिए? इंटेंजिबल, उसको कोई छू ना सके। दूसरा मैंने आपको कहा कि उसकी कोई अपीयरेंस नहीं होनी चाहिए।
Miss,
तीसरा
Miss,
मैंने
yes, I
आपसे
told.
कहा, जी बोलो।
Miss, I think yes, gravity is an abstract noun.
जी, लेकिन ये तो आपने सोचा ना, लेकिन आपको नेक्स्ट टाइम किस तरह जवाब देना है मुझे, वो जो चार की कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स मैंने बताया ना, आपको उसमें पुट करना है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, मैंने आपको वर्ड दिया चाइल्डहुड। क्या चाइल्डहुड जो है वो आपका एब्स्ट्रैक्ट नाउन है? आप कैसे करेंगे? बाय आस्किंग क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम योरसेल्फ। आप सबसे पहले अपने आप से पूछेंगे कि क्या मैं चाइल्डहुड को छू सकती हूँ? नो, इंटेंजिबिलिटी
No.
कैंसिल हो गई। ठीक है, फिर आप बोलेंगे क्या उसकी कोई फिजिकल अपीयरेंस है कि मैं चाइल्डहुड को
No.
बोलूं मेरे बराबर में आगे बैठ जाओ? नो। फिर तीसरा आप
No.
उससे बोलेंगे सब्जेक्टिविटी। चाइल्डहुड किसी का कैसा गुजरा है ये सबकी राय डिफरेंट है, तो इस वाले क्राइटेरिया को भी पूरा कर रहा है चाइल्डहुड का वर्ड। फिर एब्स्ट्रैक्टनेस, मसलन वो एक आइडिया है, ठीक है ना। तो यू आर गेटिंग माई पॉइंट कि जब भी आपको किसी वर्ड में कंफ्यूजन हो, फॉर एग्जाम्पल ब्रेवरी। ब्रेवरी क्या है? ब्रेवरी भी एक एब्स्ट्रैक्ट नाउन है। क्यों? इंटेंजिबल है, सब्जेक्टिविटी है। कौन कितना बहादुर है कैसे मेजर किया जा सकता? हो सकता है आपके हिसाब से जो बंदा बहादुर हो मेरे हिसाब से ना हो। ठीक है जी। और इसी तरह नॉन कंक्रीटनेस है, मसलन इसकी कोई फिजिकल अपीयरेंस नहीं है कि उसकी जो बहादुरी है वो कितनी साइज में कितनी है। we can't measure it, we can't count it. Okay, so this is all about like the types of nouns. इसमें बहुत सारी डिटेल्स है। in the next class inshallah taala we'll be doing some more details regarding the numbers and all, and how to you see how to know that this word is a noun in a sentence, because sentence में sometimes it is confusing. Okay, very very confusing to understand कि ये तो उसके 4-5 तरीके हैं। ये सब्जेक्ट और सब्जेक्ट कॉम्प्लीमेंट, ऑब्जेक्ट और ऑब्जेक्ट कॉम्प्लीमेंट। देन वी हैव, अगर ये आफ्टर अ प्रीपोजिशन जो वर्ड होता है वो हमेशा नाउन होता है। व्हाई? बिकॉज प्रीपोजिशन इज द वर्ड व्हिच बेसिकली टेल यू द पोजीशन ऑफ समथिंग विद रेफर टू द नाउन और प्रोनाउन। ठीक है, फिर इसके बाद जुरांट होते हैं। जुरांट्स का नाम सुना है फिरोजा?
इसका मिस?
जुरांट्स?
नहीं मिस।
ओके, जॉइंट भी नाउन की एक किस्म होती है जो कि शक्ल उसकी वर्ब की तरह होती है, लेकिन वो जिसकी फंक्शन जो है वो नाउन की तरह होता है। वो इंशाल्लाह ताला हम नेक्स्ट क्लास में कवर करेंगे। ठीक है, और फिर हमारे पास इन्फिनिटिव्स हैं। ठीक है, तो ये 4-5 चीजें हैं जो हम इंशाल्लाह ताला अल्लाह पाक ने चाहा तो वो करेंगे। अभी जो आपका बेसिक जो कॉन्सेप्ट है और जो बेसिक होमवर्क है आपका, वो ये है कि आपको ये जो सारी 5 टाइप्स मैंने बताई है, कौन सी? कॉमन नाउन, प्रॉपर नाउन, एब्स्ट्रैक्ट नाउन, कलेक्टिव नाउन, मटेरियल नाउन। अच्छा, मटेरियल नाउन नहीं बताया, मैं बता देती हूँ मटेरियल नाउन का क्या वो है। मटेरियल नाउन की डेफिनेशन बेसिकली ये है कि
Miss, I know what
एनीथिंग।
material noun is.
अच्छा, प्लीज बताइए।
Miss, material noun is like it can either be countable noun or a non-countable noun.
नो नो, व्हाट इज द डेफिनेशन ऑफ मटेरियल नाउन?
Miss, it can be referred as a physical.
नाम से पता चल रहा है ना, मटेरियल किसको कहते हैं फिरोजा?
item.
जी जी बताइए मारिया।
Miss, a material noun is a material like lead, copper.
ओके ओके, ठीक है। ठीक है, वेरी गुड। ओके, मटेरियल नाउन इज आल्सो नोन एज अ सब्सटेंस नाउन, इसको सब्सटेंस नाउन भी कहते हैं। ये बेसिकली वो टाइप है जो रिफर करती है फिजिकल मटेरियल को। फॉर एग्जांपल, आपके घर में जो लैंप है वो किस चीज का बना हुआ है? प्लास्टिक का बना हुआ है। ठीक है जी। आपके घर में जो मग है वो किस चीज के बने हुए हैं? तो जो किसी चीज का मटीरियल हो, इट इज द वर्ड दैट रिप्रेजेंट अ टेंजिबल कॉन्क्रीट एंटिटी दैट कैन बी परसीव थ्रू सेंसेस। आप उसको छू सके ऐसी चीज। अब लकड़ी है, आपका फर्नीचर है, यू कैन टच इट। ओके, तो आपके पास इस पे हर तरह का मटेरियल आ जाता है। मसलन इसकी एग्जांपल्स में दूंगी 4 चीजों के। नंबर 1 है नेचुरल मटेरियल्स, नंबर 2 है नो मैन मेड मटेरियल, नंबर 3 है फूड एंड ड्रिंक्स, एंड थर्ड है अदर कैटेगरीज, राइट? नेचुरल मटेरियल की एग्जांपल देंगी आप में से कोई, प्लीज फिरोजा?
Miss, natural material की example is natural material की example can be Miss wood
वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड। और बताइए
and Miss
Sand,
coal.
soil,
मारिया, आप जो है नॉन मैन मेड की बताइएगा, फिरोजा जो है नेचुरल मटेरियल बता रही है। जी फिरोजा? वुड, वुड बोला आपने, ठीक है। और
Miss can coal be
यस यस, बिल्कुल नेचुरल मटेरियल है, बिल्कुल ठीक है।
Miss
सैंड,
iron
वाटर, स्टोन, आयरन, yes, all these
iron
metals
yes
which are present in the periodic table, they all are what? Some of them are man made, लेकिन कुछ इसमें से नेचुरल मटेरियल है, राइट? अच्छा मारिया, आप नॉन नॉन मैन मेड मटेरियल के बारे में बताइए, नॉन नेचुरल। जी मारिया?
plastic,
प्लास्टिक, ओके। और
glass,
ग्लास, ठीक है। ग्लास है, प्लास्टिक है, वेरी गुड। और पेपर है, ठीक है। आपकी यो वॉइस इज लैगिंग मारिया।
and
जी,
the fabric, कपड़ा,
यस, ओके, फैब्रिक, वेरी गुड, ओके।
Miss
ठीक है, इसके अलावा हमारे पास फूड, ओके ओके
कपड़ा,
मारिया, ओके जी,
fabric,
ओके। यू सी आफ्टर दैट वी हैव गॉट फूड एंड ड्रिंक्स, जैसे मटेरियल्स है ना, जैसे आटा है, जैसे रोटी बनती है, चीनी है जैसे, और राइस है, ऑयल है, ये सब क्या चीजें? ये सब भी क्या है? मटेरियल्स हैं, ड्रिंक्स एंड उसमें आते हैं, ठीक है। इसके अलावा कॉटन है, सिल्क है, वुल है, लेदर है, रबर है, बहुत सारी चीजें, ठीक है। ये सब क्या है? मटेरियल नाउन है। सो आई होप ये जो 5 वर्ड्स आपके सामने लिखे हुए हैं, ये आपको काफी अच्छे क्लियर हो जाएंगे। काउंटेबल और अनकाउंटेबल को हम कल इंशाल्लाह डिटेल में दोबारा पढ़ेंगे, ठीक है। तो इसलिए now what is your homework, Firoza? You just have to jot down a short definition of all these nouns with at least 5 examples. Is it okay? Is it clear?
yes Miss
ठीक है। अच्छा, now I'm ending the meeting, और नेक्स्ट मीटिंग जो है वो हम वोकेबलरी की स्टार्ट करेंगे आफ्टर 5 मिनट्स ब्रेक, ठीक है जी।
okay Miss
35 पे मैं आपको भेजूंगी लिंक। एंड अब आप क्या कीजिए, अपना होमवर्क नोट डाउन कर लीजिए इस 1 मिनट में, और मैं 2 मिनट्स के बाद आपको लिंक भेज रही हूँ फॉर न्यू क्लास, क्योंकि ये बेसिकली जूम का है ना, तो इसमें जो आपको 40 मिनट्स की क्लास होती है, तो हम 30 मिनट्स बाद ब्रेक ले रहे हैं, ताकि 30 मिनट्स हमारी ग्रामर हो जाए और 30 मिनट्स वोकेबलरी हो जाए। इज इट ओके? कैन यू सी द स्क्रीन विच आई हैव शेयर्ड?
yes Miss
अच्छा, हैव यू डन दिस बिफोर, these idioms?
yes Miss
When?
in the previous class
Okay, how many of I think you have done 5.
yes
Okay, so from today we'll start with the 6th one, right? Do you want
yes
me to repeat the previous one?
no
No, we'll just have a okay, fine. If you don't want, it's okay. Okay, so now we are starting with the idiom section, and this is now the 6th idiom. Okay. G, Firoza, can you please read the idiom for me?
yes Miss let the cat out of the bag, it means to reveal a secret.
Okay.
During the surprise party planning, Sarah accidentally let the cat out of the bag when she mentioned to Tom how excited she was for her birthday celebration.
Oh, she pricked the bubble. She spilled the beans. Okay. So have you heard of this before?
Yes, Miss.
Okay, so it's a
I,
simple one. I just want both of you to make a single sentence, then I'll proceed with the others, right? So, Maria, please make a sentence for the idiom, the let the cat out of the bag. You also, Firoza, get ready for your sentence. Please speak louder. Speak louder.
the cat. Let me make
G. We can't hear you.
he, he surprised. He spoiled the whole prank by letting the cat out of the bag.
Okay. Yes, Firoz, a good one. Yes.
Miss, can you just wait for a minute?
Why not? Sure. Take your time. I will have a glass of water.
Miss, ready.
Okay,
Miss,
G.
the teacher let the cat out of the bag when she accidentally told us that she was taking a surprise test.
Tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay. This mistake is done by the teachers normally in the class.
Yes.
Okay, good one. Very good one. Okay, the next idiom which we have in the screen is burn the midnight oil. It's a very good one. You can use them in your essays, in your essay or paragraph writing. It is very academic idiom, I must say. Maria, will you please read the idiom for us?
Definition: burn the night oil. Definition: to work late into the night, usually to complete a task or project. With the final exams approaching, Jessica had to burn the midnight oil for several nights in a row to ensure she was fully prepared.
Okay, okay. So burn the midnight oil means to work late into the nights, usually to complete a task or project or during your exams for the preparation, right? When the people, they have tough exams. So yes, G. Firoza, what are you asking?
Miss, I was just asking, like, can after the class, can you just send this to WhatsApp?
Yeah, why not? Sure, sure, definitely. I'll send it. Okay. No worries. Okay. Now, so burn the midnight oil is a common idiomatic expression that means to work late into the nights, often to meet a deadline or to complete a task. And you can also say it is often used to describe someone who is putting an extra effort, sacrificing sleep and personal time to achieve their goals. Okay, you can also correlate that idiom to this. And this phrase is thought to have originated in the 17th century. There are some example sentences which I'm telling, then you both can also join me for that, right? So it's if I if I want to have a synonym for this idiom, so I must say late working, okay, put in overnight, work around the clock, go the extra mile. Have you heard of these phrases? Go an extra mile is my favorite one. It means to do something, like to work extra hard work. For example, a teacher in the class asked the student to just write 10 sentences about a topic, but you see, Sarah went an extra mile and she wrote 20 instead of 10 sentences. So it means putting some more effort in something to make it more special and more valuable. Is it clear? Okay, so some example sentence for burn the midnight oil are, I have been burning the midnight oil all week to finish this project on before the deadline, right? You can also say she has been burning the midnight oil to get ready for her SSC examinations, which is in the upcoming week. Okay, the team has been burning the midnight oil to meet the tight deadline and they're working hard to win the match. Okay, now it's your turn, Firoza.
Miss, just wait a second. I know that rephrasing it.
Okay. Yes, Maria, you can just have your turn. Maria, don't make too long sentences, okay? Just try to make sentences which are short up to the,
Okay.
don't beat about the bush in your sentence, right?
He had to burn the midnight oil for his NEET exams.
Very good. Okay. Yes, Firoza, now it's your turn.
Yes, miss. I need to burn the midnight oil because during the group project, I need to burn the midnight oil because none of my friends did their work, did their
Okay.
task.
Okay, okay, good one, good one. Like your sentence should have a story in it, should make sense. Okay. Now the next one is right as rain. This is also a nice one. Right as rain means perfect. Somebody,
Miss,
if
I know.
you know this one,
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, yes.
okay. So, okay, tell me some example sentences on this. Right
Like
as rain.
Miss, let's wait a second.
G. Maria, will you please take your turn?
I was
After having the treatment for my hair felt as bright as rain.
Wow, very good, very good. Very nice sentence. Yes, Firoza.
Miss, just wait.
Okay,
Miss, after our summer vacation, every single one of us was as right as rain to come back to school.
wow, good one. Okay, after a few days of rest, I'm feeling as right as rain and I'm ready to go back to work. And you people, the Mama Parsi, what do you call yourself? Mamanians, right? You both
I am.
Mamanians will be also feeling as right as rain after 4 months vacations, right?
Miss, not 4 exactly.
Okay, three and a half, you can say. Okay, the doctor said the patient is right as rain and can go home tomorrow, so you can discharge the patient, right? And you can also say after a good night's sleep, I woke up right as rain and feeling very refreshed to work. You see, according to my schedule, the team morale is right as rain after their big win. Okay, so that's a very good one to use in your sentence. Okay, now we have another one. Miss the boat, miss the boat, miss the boat. What do you mean by miss the boat? Yes, Firoza, will you please read the idiom for me?
Miss, miss the boat means like it's too late. Asa-
Yes.
Like when Mark finally decided to apply for the job, he realized he had missed the boat because the application deadline had already passed.
Very good. It means like, you see, miss the boat, you can say. It's an idiomatic expression that means to miss an opportunity, right, on time, a chance or a deadline. Okay, so you can say if you don't apply now, you will miss the boat for the scholarship from your school. And you can also say he hesitated too long and missed the boat to invest in the new upcoming company, and now that company is doing as right as rain. It's okay,
Miss,
it's
I have
working
a
perfect. G, please.
Miss, when I was ready when I was ready to submit my 50 marks quiz online, I realized that I missed the boat by only a minute.
Oh, and it happens in the online papers and in examinations when you're just
Yes.
about to turn it in and the time clock showed. Oh, now you missed the boat. Okay, he was too slow to react and missed the boat on the business deal. Some people they're not that much good at taking decisions, so they take too long. And in this scenario, they basically miss the boat, right? Maria, we are waiting for a good sentence from you. Please, Maria.
My father said that hey, hey while the sun shines and don't miss the boat.
Okay, your father. Okay, fine. Right. Okay, Ji. So the phrase is often used to convey a sense of regret, missed opportunity, or delay. It is common expression in informal context. Okay, in American English. Okay. Now the last one is my favorite one: beating about the bush. To avoid saying something which is important, but saying something which is useless. Okay, Firoza, please read the example sentence.
Yes, Miss, I can. Instead of directly asking for a raise, Mark started to beat around the bush by talking about his recent projects and contribution to the team. So it means I was saying something like Miss. It means like instead of saying Miss Jatlana.
No, it's not like that. Like fuzul baatein karna. Like you, for example, you have come to me to ask about, for example, you're my neighbor and you're asking me to please borrow your blender or something for me to, as my guests have to come. So I'll come to you and start talking about, wow, your kitchen is looking beautiful. You are looking so nice. What about this dress? And you see at the end, I said, oh, please give me that blender for which I've come. So it means what I've done.
You beat
I've,
around the bush.
yes. I've talked unnecessary and unimportant thing, and I was avoiding the main thing about which I was supposed to talk. Right, so it's like that. So beating about the bush is basically mean to avoid talking directly or clearly about something, often because it's uncomfortable or difficult. You see, and you can have some examples. For example, the politician was accused of beating about the bush during the debate and not talking on the assassination of the opponent. Okay, you can say anything. You can also say the manager was beating about the bush, about the layoffs and all other things, but he was not talking about the promotions and the increment in the meeting. And you can say, stop it beating about the bush and tell me the truth. I can handle it. What you have done in the school, why you were suspended. Sorry, not to say that. Okay, Firoza, just make a sentence, please. Beat about the
Miss,
bush.
yes, my introvert friend wasted 10 minutes of the class. My introvert friend 10 minutes of the class just to ask for a pencil as she was around the bush.
Yes, she was beating about the bush. And I just told her not to do that, not to beat about the bush, and just come to the point quickly. Yes, Maria, we are expecting an excellent and amazing sentence from you. Please beat about the bush.
Beating around the bush is often a habit of introvert and indecisive people.
Very, oh, nice one. Okay, Firoza, do you know what is the meaning of indecisive?
Miss, it means like very shy people.
But if you talk about like the exact meaning, you have also beaten about the bush. I talk about the exact meaning is that the people who are unable to make decision, who are unable to
Oh,
make choices between two things, right?
okay.
Okay, so I hope it's clear.
Yes, miss.
Okay, now so now we are going to the other part of the our vocabulary. Okay, and that is about synonyms, right? So today we will be doing synonyms for what? For extremely shocked. Okay, what we'll be doing? Extremely shocked.
Dog.
Shocked, right? So for that, what I'll be doing, I'll be just doing this. Okay, I'm writing the words on the screen and you both have to make sentences related to. I'll be writing the meaning also, and what you all have to do, you both have to just make the meanings. Okay, so the synonym for this word, okay, synonyms for extremely shocked. What's the meaning of shock? Okay, you know the meaning of shock, both of you?
Yes, miss.
Okay, if it's clear, so that's okay. So okay, so like this. Okay, now I'm going with the, okay, the first word which I'm going to write here for this one is,
Can I tell you one?
no, I'm starting with the sequence, and you just at the end, I'll ask you, okay, how many of them were known to you? Okay, we are doing at least 10 words, and then we'll take out the percentage out of it. Okay, how many words you are familiar with? The first word for this is thunderstruck. Okay, thunderstruck. Do you know the meaning for this word?
Yes, miss.
Okay, then we have got flabbergasted. Very good one. Okay, then we've got stunned.
The
Yes,
means
then we've got
there is
dumbfounded. Oh, let me write down the words. Then we will just talk about each of them in detail, right? Then we've got gobsmack, right? Then we have got shell shock. Okay, then we've got traumatized. Okay, traumatized. And then we have got aghast. And then we got apple. Right? So these are the 10 words which I've selected, and they all mean the same. What do they mean? They all mean the same. Like they all means extremely shocked, but there is a bit difference in their definition and in their clarification. Okay, so the first one is thunderstruck, which means utterly shocked or amazed, means like you are unable to talk. All these means the same approximately, right? So I want both of you to please tell me a sentence, please, related with this. Who will go first? I think
Miss, I can
Maria.
tell.
Acha, okay, chalo, Firoza.
No,
Now
miss.
in Acha, okay, Maria, in every 10, you are supposed to make the sentence first and then Firoza. Okay, is it okay?
okay.
G Maria,
Yes.
please. I'm writing down the meaning so that I'll send you the picture of this for your revision after the class. So it's like this. Okay, please go ahead.
After hearing that she had failed, she was thunderstruck.
Okay, Or you can make it better, Amaria, by saying after hearing the news of her failure, she was thunderstruck. Okay? Is it okay?
And
Okay. Firoza, now
after
it's your
hearing the
turn. Your
news
turn
that
of the sentence.
After hearing the loss of her mother, Fatma was thunderstruck.
Very good. Okay, she was thunderstruck. Okay. Okay. Now we've got another one, which is like, you can say like the thunderstruck crowd gaps as the firework explode in the sky. All the people, all the thunderstruck crowd was like surprised with the, you can say, you see, they were amazed and they were unable to utter a single word. Utter means speaking, right? Okay, the next word which we have for today is flabbergasted, which means completely shocked and astonished. Okay,
Miss,
Jivita, बोलिए.
we can even be shocked in a good way, na? Like,
Yes, yes, yes. You see, that's called intonation. Like जो आपकी ना positive भी हो सकती है, negative भी हो सकती है ना किसी word की meaning. Yes, you can go for that. For example, her beauty was the boy was stunned by the you see the stunned boy was amazed by the beauty. इस तरह करके आप इसको दोनों sense में use कर सकते हैं. बिल्कुल flabbergasted. Yes. पहले flabbergasted के sentence try कीजिए please.
the
Maria.
students so completely flabbergasted after hearing the death of the best teacher, Miss Salma.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Is it something related to the real word, Maria?
yes, miss.
Okay. Okay. There was a teacher of this name in your school?
Yes, miss.
And
Salma
were,
Sultan.
and were you both the student of her?
Yes, miss. I
Oh,
was.
what about
I
the
also
subject? What about the subject she was teaching?
Miss, first she was teaching science, but then she had cancer, so she teach us art.
Oh,
was.
oh my God. Sometimes it's like it's very shocking, okay? To hear the news of someone who is very near to you and you're meeting that person daily and suddenly that person disappears from the surface of the earth. So it's like, it's very flabbergasted, right? Okay, ji. Next we have stunned, please.
Miss, I didn't told you the sentence for flabbergasted.
You, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, you can go ahead.
Sorry. I was completely flabbergasted when I heard that I gained so much marks in English language house test.
You okay? So it's a positive one, right?
Yes.
Or a negative one?
No, miss, it's a positive one.
Okay, okay. Now the next word is stunned, shocked and left feeling, gazed, or disbelieving, right? Stunned is basically used when you don't believe something. For example, the news of the accident left the driver stunned. Okay, or the stunned, you can say the stunned driver sat in silence trying to process the news of the accident. Okay, so you can like that. Please go ahead. Maria, now it's your turn. G. Maria, make the sentence, please.
I need a moment to think.
Sorry. Stun. You have to make the sentence for the word stun.
Miss, can I make one?
No, just this
I
Maria's turn. Maria has to speak, then it will be your turn, please.
I was stunned after hearing the accident of my friend's father.
Friend's father. Make it clear. When you're using the apostrophe, just make sure that it looks very clear. It is heard very clear in your speak, right? G. Firoza, now it's your turn, baby.
We all were stunned when we heard that our school was struck by a lightning.
Okay, okay, good one. The next one which we have is dumbfounded. You know what is what is that person? What do we call a person who is unable to see? A person who is unable to see is called what?
Blind.
Okay, and what about the person who is unable to hear?
Deaf.
Deaf. And what about the person who is unable to speak?
Dumb.
Dumb. So this is dumbfounded. It means like the situation has shocked you so much that you are unable to utter a single word. Okay, something that has left you speechless. Okay, so you can use the
Yes.
word dumbfounded there. Please make a sentence, Maria.
I was dumbfounded after hearing that my father had been uh, had a close call of death.
Has a what? Sorry, Maria.
Like he had a close call from death, a narrow escape from death. I'm sorry.
Okay, okay, okay. No, narrow escape. Okay. Yes, G. Firoza, beta.
I was completely dumbfounded when I heard that I was not named the house prefect of the mama house.
You are. I'm sorry. I missed that middle part of your sentence. Will you please repeat?
I was completely dumbfounded when I heard that I wasn't made the house prefect of mama house.
Okay, you were dumbfounded. Okay, to hear that news. The dumbfounded student stared at the teacher, unable to believe the unexpected. Great. Sometimes it happens. Like you were staring at your teacher dumbfounded, not speaking a single word, just to realize or to make your teacher realize that you see she has given very less number to you, you see, than your expectation. Okay, the next one is gobsmacked. Remember that there's a gap between the word. Dumbfounded is written, you see, in the form of a single word, flabbergasted, thunderstruck, but gobsmacked is, you see, written differently. Please note it down, right? Okay, please make a sentence. Maria, shocked and left speechless, gobsmacked.
I was gobsmacked after hearing the expectations from my teacher of
Okay, after hearing the expectation from my,
teachers.
okay, your teachers. Okay, yes, Firoza, now it's your turn.
I was Sarah was completely gobsmacked when her pet was hit by a car.
Oh, okay. Then we have got the next one, which we have is shell shocked. Shell shocked, please. Shell shocked. Extremely shocked and disoriented. G. Maria. Maria, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Please make the sentence.
The shell shock news shook me from head to toe.
The shell shocked.
News shook me from head to toe.
Okay, the shell shock news shook me from head to toe. Good, very good one. Very good. Okay, yes, Firoza.
I was completely shell shocked when I was the only one in school on Saturday.
During the rainy season, you're talking about the last Saturday.
Yes.
What I heard that there were just 35 students in the whole school. Is it correct?
Yes,
Is it
yes,
correct up to your knowledge?
yes, miss.
Oh my God. Okay, the next one which we have, I haven't made like shell shock. You can say the shell shock soldiers struggle to come to terms with the after the traumatic experience of war. He was unable to like come back to his senses, right? Then we have got the seventh one. We have done traumatized.
No,
Maria, have you done traumatized?
No,
Okay, please make the sentence deeply shocked and emotionally wounded. Traumatized means like aziyat and all, okay? Remember, there are two types of, you see, there are two types of thing. The first one is like we have torture. There is a word torture. Do you know what's the meaning of torture?
yes,
What is the meaning of
yes.
torture?
Miss, like in Urdu we say tashaddud or zulm.
Exactly, physical abuse, okay? Physical abuse, that's called torture. That's the spelling. And there is one more word which is called agony. What is that? Agony.
it's emotionally torturing.
No,
Yes, miss.
yes, mental torture. For example, if can you put an example for both of these, both of you girls, please?
Yes,
Torture is like
children
when
can
your teacher excuse me, torture is when your teacher asks you to stand up with your hands up on your decks. So it's a torture kind of punishment. But if your teacher doesn't punish you and she says, they'll just write in your diary to your father that your daughter has done this and that. So you become agonized, right? That's the kind of a mental stress. Did you get me?
Yes, miss.
Okay, okay, go ahead. Okay,
Um,
traumatize.
the traumatized mother was in awe after hearing her daughter's words.
Maria, you see, we were unable to hear the last words which you said in your sentence. Will you mind repeating it, please?
The traumatized mother was in awe after hearing her daughter's words.
Okay, okay. Okay, Firoza, now it's your turn, beta.
Miss, I was in some sort of the same sentence.
Okay, you can go for that. That you see, this is basically the practice of the language. If you are even making the same sentence by, you see, just changing few of the words, that's okay with me. But I will really appreciate if you make genuine ideas and just frame it into a sentence. You see,
Ali's mother,
try to find out the real situations around you. That will make you help a lot. Okay.
Ali's mother was completely traumatized because she lost his son in the war.
Oh, wow. Wow, very excellent sentence. Okay. Yes, Maria. The traumatized, you can say the traumatized victim required counseling to deal with the aftermath of the earthquake. Aftermath, effects, right? What is the word aftermath? Effects, okay? So now the next word which we have is aghast. Yes, please.
The aghast Palestinians are 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 searching for shelter and refuge.
And
Shelter and refuge.
okay. Yes, Firoza.
Miss, just wait a minute.
Take your time, beta. Just I love the students who make real life sentences. Like it surely show their skill of framing the sentences. Okay, so I just love it.
My friend was completely aghast when she lost her father when she lost her father due to cancer, mouth cancer.
Yes, yes, yes. Good one. Okay. So, because you see, showing a kind of intensity, okay, in your sentence. So, these were the words which we have done today. I want both of you to make some sentences using these words, like two or three words in a single sentence. You're getting my point? I want to make both of you to make sentences having at least two or three different words in the sentence.
Can
Please.
I give an example?
Yes, please put it, but speak louder, Maria.
The traumatized, dumbfounded, and thunderstruck Palestinians are are in awe of food and water.
Very good. Zabardast. Excellent. Ji Firoza beta. You got the idea?
Yes, miss. The traumatized mother was completely thunderstruck and stunned by miss wait, losing her by a car accident.
Acha, there is one thing which Firoza, I want to clear that all these words which I have taught you today, they all are adjectives. Yeah, you see, you haven't done the grammar portion very much yet. But the thing is that you see, sometimes a single word can act like a different part of speech. Sometimes we use the same word for as an adjective, sometimes as a verb, or sometimes as a noun, right? So you are using stunned and all these words as a verb, which I haven't told you. We are just treating all these words as an adjectives, right? Adjectives for the word shock. Okay. For example, if I say I am shocked, so this is what I am shocked. Shock is an adjective. Okay. Okay. So we can also use the word shock as verb. Okay, so you're getting my parts of speech are very important to understand, right? Okay, some more examples. Some more example, please.
May I say
G, please.
my son shell-shocked and gobsmacked sister stood at her result, with her result in his hand.
You see, we all were standing like that when we came to know about Maria's result.
Miss, can I tell?
Please go ahead.
My mother was completely traumatized, electrified, and thunderstruck by my brother's excellent result in CAIA.
Okay. 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 Absolutely good. Okay. So now this is all for today's session. Okay. So what we have done, we have just started the passive stage and we have covered around just 20% of the noun in this class. Inshallah ta'ala, in the upcoming class, we'll be covering more about noun. Maybe 2 or 3 classes or sessions will take just to discuss noun because there's so much in it. Okay. And simultaneously, I'll be keep on giving you vocabulary. What is my suggestion to both of you is to make not very thick but thin registers for all the things separately. Like for the vocabulary section, you see these synonyms and all, just make a separate register, for idioms a separate one, and for grammar a separate one, so that it become very easy for you when you are revising the thing. So you will not worry about gathering the information first. You're getting my point? Or either you can take a spiral book and just divide it into 3 sections. That also works better, but I will prefer to have a separate notebooks for each of the things, right? G.
Can I say only one more sentence?
Okay, please go ahead, Maria.
I was gobsmacked of how helpful this class was for my English language and grammar.
Wow, very good. Okay, very beautiful sentence. G. Firoza, now is the last sentence to you, then we'll end the class. Will you please tell a sentence using this word, Firoza? Oh, okay, you can say something about the class. How was your class? Because it was your first class, Firoza. So I want to hear from you.
Miss, I had a great experience. It was fun.
Okay. I just believe in making the students learn the fun way, because that is the way in by which the students get things retain in their mind. Okay.
Yes, miss.
Okay.
Miss,
So
can I make a sentence?
जी बोलिए.
I was completely electrified and traumatized when my best friend left me and was a traitor.
Okay.
No,
But
no,
you see, I don't know why you both are talking and making so sad sentences. You see, you can also use this for happiness, for good and positive things. Okay, to heard that my brother has got
I was
100% of scholarships, I was dumbfounded. Take good care of
Allah
yourself.
Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.